Spring is in the air. It's a gorgeous day out. How's it going, everybody? I've wanted to make this video for a while. Recently, among our community, also a few conversations with friends, the topic of spearfishing at popular scuba diving spots has come up. I can see why people get frustrated by it, especially if you don't harvest from the ocean, but I want everyone to hear my perspective. Not that it really matters, because it's just my opinion. At the end of the day, you have to follow the regulations, but if you want to hear my insight, here we go. First and foremost, there's a lot of dive spots up and down the coast. A lot of those dive spots are in marine protected areas where there's no harvesting of marine life. There's other spots like rockfish conservation areas where you're not allowed to harvest any rockfish, lingcod, or any fish for that matter. You can hand harvest, you can drop crab traps, but you're not allowed to take any fish. There's dive closures up and down the coast. There's one off Hornby Island, the whole entire Discovery Passage in Campbell River. No harvesting while diving, period. And then you also have spots like the Pacific Rim National Park. Same idea, it's a huge, massive park, but it's a dive closure. You can angle there, you can drop traps, but you're not allowed to dive even for a Dungeness crab. So the harvesting opportunities up and down the coast are limited due to the regulations. Now, I think the key to sustainable harvesting is spreading out, going to as many different areas, spreading out your catch amongst a wide variety of species. Don't go to the same spot every single time you get out, because that's not good for the environment. Now, if I were to, let's say, dive into Nanaimo and hit the exact same spots every single time I went out, it's not doing the ecosystems any favors. So again, spreading out is key. But spreading out is a challenge when so much of the coast is off limits to harvesting. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for marine protected areas. I'm all for rockfish conservation areas. I said in a video I made recently there should be more, but again, it restricts our ability to harvest. Do you guys know me? I got no problem jumping on a ferry, driving 4 or 5 hours to a dive spot, and then jumping back on a ferry, and then heading back home. I don't mind doing that, but not everyone is as fortunate as I am. You know, gas prices aren't cheap, and the other part of it is mobility issues. You know, a lot of spots I hit up, I'm hiking, 20-30 minutes down to the coast. Again, people have mobility issues. They don't have that luxury. I got a torn meniscus right now, or at least that's what the doctor thinks. I have to wait 8 months till I get an MRI to figure out what's going on. But right now, my knee is doing a bit better, but it could flare up at any moment to the point I'm stumbling, not very enjoyable. I've been pretty reckless with my body. The older I get, I kind of realize I've kind of done a number to myself, and I'm gonna probably have mobility issues when I get older. My shoulders hurt all the time, my ankles hurt all the time, my knee hurts. Skateboarding and boxing, love those sports, but it wasn't good to me. So when I'm older, getting down to, let's say, remote dive spots is gonna get tougher and tougher. That's the cold hard reality of it. So a lot of popular scuba diving spots are shore accessible. You can just pull right up and you can get down into the ocean. I only bring this up because a lot of people say freedivers are limber, you don't have to carry as much gear, access these spots that scuba divers can't get to, which I fully support and I fully agree with. But again, hitting those spots every single time, it's not good for that spot. Popular scuba diving spot or not, it's still not good for it. And getting to those spots for some individuals is a challenge. I guess the question to ask is, what makes a popular dive spot? Marine life. What are we trying to harvest from the ocean? Marine life. So I get there's a bit of a butting of heads between the scuba diving and spearfishing harvesting community, but I had a guy join a Facebook group and he called everybody selfish for taking his eye candy. I bet you anything that guy buys his seafood from the store and has no idea where it came from. No idea. I think the most selfless thing you can do is give up your dependency on food purchased from a grocery store, such as meat and fish, and go into the ocean and get it yourself. The guy had the nerve to call me selfish. I did take offense to that. Anyone that calls one selfish for harvesting from the ocean, grabbing their own protein, really has to look in the mirror and reflect on their own habits. That guy called me selfish, but I'm gonna flip the script and call him selfish. He buys fish from the grocery store, has no idea where it came from, right? What he's basically saying is, hey, don't take my candy. You can't dive these popular spots because I want to see fish, I want to see marine life, but at the same time, I'm okay with industrial trawling. I'm okay with these nets plowing the ocean floor because I don't dive those spots, right? Ironically, that guy also makes YouTube videos and always tags the location. So he's bringing people to his dive spots, showing footage of lingcod, rockfish, and Puget Sound king crab with the location being tagged. I told him, like, change the title, you know, be a bit more vague, but he didn't seem interested. So if you are watching this, man, you're bringing people to the spots I spearfish, at least do yourself a favor and change the title. Be vague with those titles, because you don't want to bring people to your spot to harvest your fish. Again, working against yourself. Now, before I get too many people hitting the unsubscribe button, not that I really care about subscribers, I care about my viewers that appreciate my content. But before I make too many people upset, with all that said, I don't go to Madrona Point out of respect for the scuba community. I don't harvest from that area. I don't harvest from Oak Leaf in Anoose Bay. But I do harvest in a wide variety of different areas. And if people want to hit up Madrona from time to time, I understand it, right? What's worse, going to da-da-da every single time, or going to da-da-da, 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 hitting up all these different spots to reduce pressure on one specific area. Scuba divers also dive the same spots we do, but they're going to much different depths. You know, I'm not going down 50, 60, 70, 80 feet to go harvest. You know, I'm going in the top 15 meters. I don't like going past 50 feet if I can avoid it. So we might be diving the same spots, but to be honest, we're diving different areas at the same spots. I guess it just comes down to sharing a resource, realizing when you are harvesting from a spot, you are taking away someone's opportunity to view, interact, and enjoy marine life. But at the same time, try to reduce your dependency on grocery stores, because they're living proof that the ocean is being depleted of sea life. I get it, it's controversial, and there's a bunch of different ways to look at it, but that's essentially my opinion. So long story short, respect this scuba diving community, but at the same time, do your thing, follow the regulations, spread out. Don't harvest from the same spot every single time you go out. It's not good for the environment, and you're gonna ruin it not just for the scuba divers, but yourself at the same time. It's definitely a balancing act, and I think the balance is spreading out to different areas and harvesting different species. I'm sure there's 4 or 5 points that I missed, but maybe I'll touch things up in the comment section. If you guys have any input, please share, because I'm all ears and I want to hear different perspectives. Peace and love, everybody, including scuba divers. Love for y'all. I'm actually thinking about taking a scuba diving course. I'm going to taste the forbidden fruit. I'm going to enjoy the nice beach weather here. Peace and love.